Hey guys, how's it going? It's Brandon and Eve here from the Dolphin Quest podcast and also the regular Dolphin Quest channel because no one's stolen it from us just yet. We consider that a little bit of an achievement here in the Dolphin Quest household. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Sorry, so we were literally knocking on wood because we devised a little bit of a setup for the Yeti microphone that we use for the podcast. And yeah, we'll take a picture of it because it's pretty ingenious, but
oh yeah, real smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Big brain stuff here.
Yeah, I mean that's what we do. We deal in big brained ideas, and that's why.
And GameCube games.
Yeah,
only
exactly.
That rhymed better.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we could have said like something way better than that, but
all right, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, guys, so I hope that everyone had a really good end of August and all of September. I know it's kind of a drag to whether you're going back to school or college or whatever that is, but I hope everyone's been having a good time. I hope everyone's been finding all the copies of Fire Emblem for GameCube for the cheapest of prices. We certainly haven't, but you'll find out more about that because we're going to update you on what we've had going on.
I get what you're referencing. Okay, perfect.
Wait, was I referencing something?
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about the GameSwap, remember?
Oh,
they didn't have Fire Emblem, though. They had other games that were overpriced. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
I was just doing a bit, like improv.
Yes, because you're so funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So we've been a little silent on the podcast side, social media side. Yep. We've been a little busy getting back into the swing of things, and then, Brandon's got his, new job stuff that he's doing. We wanted to talk about, first we'll talk about 100% Electronicon Part 1, because at the time there was no second show announced, so it was just the only one. But then, as I want to say a week before the first one happened, George Clanton, who runs this, that's his nickname though, I don't remember what his actual name is, he was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna do a second one, and we're gonna make it West Coast, since this one was in New York and we drove up to it. But yeah, so 100% Electronicon is named after his album 100% Electronica, and it featured, I want to say like 15 to 20 different vaporwave artists. Most notably George Clanton, Saint Pepsi as the headliner, 18 Karat Affair, Telepath, Esprit, FM Skyline, Surfing, tons of good bands and stuff like that. And we also got to see a bunch of newer artists that we didn't really know about, but then, we saw them and it was really cool. Like, you really liked, I don't know if she was featured on the free mixtape that we got. Gemini, what was it? Negative Gemini.
Negative
she's
Gemini,
on here.
that's it.
Yeah,
okay,
she was really cool.
Yeah, she was cool. Also, nice young artist as well. That's actually what I was so surprised by, is that generally speaking, like, a lot of people in the scene were, like, fairly young. I would say younger than us. I mean,
yeah.
At this point, though, with just, like, the things that we like and everything, we're, it seems like we're like, almost, like, just kind of the median age with everything right now, whereas, like, it's like, oh, yeah, it's like everyone from, like, 16 or 17 to, like, 40-something, and we're, like, sitting right there in the middle with that. But, it was definitely an interesting experience. We both, I would say we had an awesome time. I know
it was a great show. We'll probably upload a separate video thing, because I took some videos while we were there. It's one of those things, though, where, like, you're at a concert and you want to just be, like, enjoying the music, so you don't want to have to be like, oh, I gotta hold my phone out and stuff like that. Like, I try and get a couple of more notable songs just because I love sharing that kind of stuff. This was an experience that, if you're not able to go to it, I'm not entirely sure the next time you're going to be able to get to do something like this, just because it's vaporwave and the subgenres, and of course, some people will be like, oh, well, it's like, it's not all vaporwave, that's just like the colloquial term. It's like, yeah, I would rather just use that, because not everybody knows what you're talking about if you're going to talk about, like, future funk, lo-fi, all that stuff.
Well, I mean,
it just makes it easier to just say vaporwave and vaporwave artists. So with a gathering of artists like that, you're not really going to see that on the daily, like other kinds of music genres.
Yeah, I mean, also another thing that's kind of important to look at when it comes to that type of stuff is that your average person probably, has maybe heard of Vaporwave before, but I don't think a lot of people really know too much about it, and mostly because it's still an underground art style for the most part, I would say.
Yeah.
It's a very tight-knit scene as well. I mean, that's not to say that they're not welcoming, because, I mean, that's one of the points I wanted to make about this, but that comes more towards the end of the first part of this podcast, so I'll just foreshadow to that. But really, I mean, it's a lot easier to explain to someone that and say, like, oh yeah, this is what Vaporwave is, and this is the type of show that I was at. It's very similar with say, like, punk and hardcore genre, because, if you say to someone, oh yeah, this band's kind of more grindcore than it is metalcore, they're not going to know what you're talking about. Whereas if you just say, oh, it's metal or punk, they'll pretty much just understand it right away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to say that these artists aren't successful in their scene, or they're not, and then not saying that they're not successful at all.
They're very accomplished.
Well, I was going to say is like a lot of people wouldn't. Well, so there's a lot of bigger names, of course. But what I mean is, if you go on to like their SoundCloud and Bandcamp pages, because a lot of these artists, I mean, they're on iTunes, but it's not really the same exact kind of thing. But if you take a look at that, they maybe only have, like, under 10,000, like, people subscribe to them or whatever. But then if you look at their videos on YouTube, which 99% of the time isn't even uploaded by them, because it'll be uploaded by someone else who has, like, some sort of meme video in the background, or, like, a 3-second anime gif just looping. Those videos have, like, millions and millions of views. And, I think we're really fortunate to be able to actually see these people live. It's such an experience. And then, of course, we got to talk to Ryan, aka Saint Pepsi, aka Skylar Spence, again, and that was really cool.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy. Like, every time we meet him, like, it's funny, because I would say that he's arguably the most notable name in the genre, and yet, like, he's
still literally the most humble musician I think we've ever met.
Yeah, and also another thing, it's like, almost like every time we've met him, it's like the first time he's ever gone onto stage, because he just has this, he's very nervous before he goes on. He's usually, fidgeting and stuff. But that's what's so cool about him, because when he finally gets onto the stage, you could really tell that that's where he's at home. Mm-hmm. So, and it's kind of funny, because I feel like after a little while, a lot of musicians get jaded to the point that, oh, what's it mean to me to go up on stage and do this? I mean, it's just my job. Whereas with him, it's almost like he gets to, like, enjoy that experience of the first time that you're on stage performing almost every time he performs. And that's got to be, something that I would say someone is very lucky to have.
Yeah, and then especially with, his whole thing, if you look into why he can't be called Saint Pepsi anymore, even though, he was billed as Saint Pepsi.
Yeah, he said that his agent was a little bit upset with him for doing the show under that
it's like,
name.
That's just such a, like, fun little anecdote that you won't necessarily hear from, like, 99% of, like, band people. But, like, yeah, so if you look into that stuff, there's a lot of times where he's touring and he's just doing his new stuff, and he might be able to play, like, a couple of the older songs, but, like, this was, like, such a great mix of new tracks, the classic tracks, like, all the dancey stuff. He literally played a song that, like, had just dropped on his Bandcamp that day. It was really awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was kind of a great way to, like, it was almost like a history of Saint Pepsi that he was playing, which was, once again, really cool. And, yeah, I mean, it's a good experience. I mean, anytime he's in, like, I'd say either, like, on the East Coast or in the tri-state area, I definitely wouldn't mind catching a show, because...
Yeah, I mean, the first time we saw him, we drove to DC.
Which was a really cool area that we drove to. Like, it almost, like, it was funny, because it was a small suburb in Washington, D.C., but it fit the vibe of the show, like, so well, because...
Yeah, literally an underground, it's like a basement show. There was, like...
It was in a record store.
Yeah, it was in a record store. It was like, what,
cafe,
20 people, maybe 25 people down in that basement, including his parents there.
Yeah, exactly.
So cool. Like, they were so supportive of him. It's great seeing that.
Oh, yeah, it was a really fun time. And also, like, just in general, because the place that I was in was, like, basically kind of a college town, but, you know, it almost reminds me a little bit of New Orleans, like, just the way everything looked. I mean, it wasn't, like, all, like, partied out. Like, people were partying, but in a way more
I get what you
chill
mean.
way.
You're probably talking about, like, with how the shops were next to each other, and it was kind of like you walk up the steps.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so, like,
and
whenever
just,
you
like,
see
you could look
videos
out
of-
the windows and stuff, and
Yeah.
there were balconies and everything, so... Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, so then the 100% Electronicon show, that was in... Queens?
Yeah.
Queens, I think.
Yeah, it was in no, Williamsburg.
No, it was a
Brooklyn.
couple... No, it was not Brooklyn.
Are
I
you
know.
sure?
Yeah, it was a couple of blocks away from like, the
Okay, well,
main...
either way.
Yeah, it was definitely Queens.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
It was at Elsewhere, which was pretty sweet because they had this 3-stage with, like, one mini stage set up. So you had, like, the main stage, a side stage, one little area where they were just playing, like, music and you just relax and chill and grab a bite to eat and stuff like that. And then they had the outside
roof area, which was
outside
sweet.
rooftop area. We got these cool coconut drinks.
Yeah, so let me preface this to kind of give you guys a little bit of an example of this. So the last time we went to a show like that was like... I would consider this a fairly small venue despite the number of stages. The last time we saw a show like that was when we first got together, and it was at I See Stars at Croc Rock in Pennsylvania.
R.I.P.
Jesus rest its soul, because
Yeah.
Croc Rock was a very cool venue because it had, I think there were 4 or 5
stages
at
at
that
that one.
Okay, so yeah, so
2 upstairs ones, 2 downstairs
yeah,
ones.
and the cool thing with this is that we paid for one tour, but it just so happened that they double booked the venue. So essentially what was going on is there was like a smaller, like more low-key show going on while the main show was going on. So there were like... It was almost like a mini Warped Tour, because it was like there was probably like 15 or 20 artists playing in this one building over one night, but they were able to do it because of how many stages they had. So that was cool. So that was essentially how 100% Electronicon worked, because it was almost set up like an indoor festival. And
yeah.
honestly, I'm kind of hoping more places start doing stuff like that, because it's a really cool vibe. Because with a normal concert, it's usually one room, and you're either down in the general admission area or you could hang out up on the balcony. But with this, you know, you could walk around, you could talk to people. There were areas that were quiet, you know, there were, areas outside, and, you know, the rooftop. And that was the big thing, because there was music going on, but it was like, you know, kind of like more easygoing music, like more, you know, acoustic stuff, or softer stuff. But you could also hang out at the bar and talk with people. In fact, you know, we tried something that we didn't think we would like, but we got it anyway. It was it's basically like this mango slushy type of thing, but it was spicy mango. So
it had like Tabasco in it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It had Tabasco sauce. So we were just drinking this really spicy drink.
But it was also cool at the same time.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, like, that's the type of thing that you'd only expect to find in Queens at a Vaporwave show.
and then since it was in a coconut, then you also had a little snack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was great. And then what they did was this like weird like messaging thing that what sucked though is, like, as with most venues, as soon as you're inside you have no service. So then it's like, well, this messaging app that they made didn't really work unless you were outside. But we saw this one post that said, like, hey, if you come find me, I'm giving out free like demo tapes. And it said, like, you know, look for the guy in green pants. So then we found him, and then at first he was like, oh yeah, I already handed out all of mine. So if you come see me later, you know, I might have some more, because he brought stuff with him. So later on we did see him, I think as we were getting ready to stand in line for St. Pepsi, right?
No, I think it was after that, actually. I think that was
Did we already have
the
our
end
vinyl?
of the night. Yeah, we already had it because
Okay.
we were walking back in to actually see St. Pepsi perform, and he was standing there, and we went and talked to him, which, by the way, while we're talking about Cultural Critic, hey, man, if you're out there, we met you at the show and everything. Sorry it took so long to get this out, but we're going to tag you in this. I know we said we... would get it a little bit quicker, but, here it is now. And we're also planning on...
Gonna insert a little...
Yeah, we're gonna insert
here,
a little thing. We'll hook your... if you have an official YouTube or anything, we'll make sure that,
We'll get all the socials, but definitely his Bandcamp, because
exactly.
That's where the album's on. So, so that was really cool. And then later on, when we got home, he gave us a code for it too, so that way we could get to the music a little bit quicker, because we have been on a literal quest to try and find a working cassette player, and it has been a nightmare.
We haven't found it this entire time now.
Because we've tried it with other stuff, and then they ate the tapes. So luckily, I didn't put the limited edition Electronicon mixtape in there.
Rest in peace, our Jock Jams.
Yeah, my Jock Jams Volume 2. I'm very mad about that. But yeah, so we'll play some clips, and then we also met this other artist who actually has his own label as well.
Like, we didn't even know he was an artist at first. Like, we just, he was in line with us for the St. Pepsi vinyl, which this is, I'm not going to give too many details about it right this second, just because it's a story within itself.
Yeah.
But we were in line with him, we were talking to him, and we were talking to his girlfriend as well, and they're very cool people and stuff, so we got the album and everything, and then we went outside, and they were sitting there, so we, got to talking to them, and it turns out he is another artist, and his genre would be considered future funk. Once again, I know we were talking about the genres before, but that's what he considered his stuff. So I'm going to respect what he says, and I will put the proper label on it. And he goes by the name of Fibre, so Fibre, the way they would spell it in Europe, essentially. But, he actually gave us some really good insight on the vaporwave scene and a lot of things that are going on. And, in fact, he also helped us out a little bit. So, because we each got the vinyl we were looking for, which is the St. Pepsi Hit Vibes original pressing, which is very rare. There's, 350 of them
350,
in the world?
And they brought 50 of them to the show.
Yeah, so essentially what happened is, I'll just tell this story kind of quickly.
Yeah.
Well, we were standing there since 5 o'clock, and
St. Pepsi didn't go on until 9, so...
Yeah, so we were waiting around for a good while. Like, we were listening to the music and stuff like that.
Yeah, because luckily where the merch table was going to be set up at was the main stage. So we got to see, a lot of the artists we were going there for, and then new people, of course, too.
Yeah, essentially. So basically what we ended up doing, we were sitting there, and there were a couple other dudes that they didn't notice us sitting there, which is really kind of our fault, because we weren't trying to crowd the merch table, but they just went right up there. So we kind of figured, we were like, all right, we need to do something, because people are going to start bum rushing this line.
Yeah.
So we went and talked to them, and then we all came to the conclusion that we need to form a line for this thing, because everyone knew there were only 50 of these vinyls there.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what happened with that is that we made a sign up and basically organized to this thing, and the staff at the place actually just let us do it. I figured they probably just didn't want to do it on their own. So we made sure that everyone that was waiting at the right time basically got the album that they needed. So Eve got her copy, and then we didn't realize it was $40. We thought it'd be $25, so we didn't have enough. So the one
cash
staff,
too.
Yeah, it was only cash.
Card, no problems, and then it was one per person.
Yeah, exactly. So but the guy that was working for the show that did eventually come to the front of the line, he let me run out and then get the vinyl. So that was super cool of him. I almost said, "Oh, it's okay, I don't need it," but. We'll explain that. So basically that was our line story. But going back outside, there was another guy there that we saw walking around with a bunch of vinyl. Apparently he had brought some of it from home just to kind of show it off. So as we were talking to Alex and his girlfriend, this guy comes up to Eve and he says to her, he's like, "Oh, hey, I'll buy that vinyl, $100 right now." And then
before I even said
before
anything,
Eve tried to say, "Oh, well," and then he's like, 200, and just like cuts her off and doubles his offer right then and there. I don't know who taught this guy how to haggle, but he should get his money back. So anyway, then Alex cuts in and says to him, Eve starts to say, "Oh, well, this is like a $300 vinyl." And the guy starts to say, "Oh, well, this isn't the original pressing, so it's not worth that much." And Alex cuts him off and says, "Well, actually, this is the original pressing. This has been in a storage unit for a while. There's only 350 of these. And also, it's not a $300 vinyl. It's a $600 vinyl." So, needless to say, not that Eve would have sold it or anything, but that's how we found out that the album we just paid $40 for is like a $600 super valuable, just like really sought after vinyl.
Yeah. And now we get to listen to it whenever we want.
Yeah, we could listen to one of them, and we have the other one in a vinyl frame hanging on our wall, and it's a really nice conversation piece.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's one of those things like, yeah, it's super awesome that it's also worth that much, but that's just going to be something that we're going to hold on to for a long time. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, not to mention another thing is, like, Vaporwave's just kind of another one of those things that I didn't even know about till Eve found out about it. So the way I look at it is, like...
Many, many moons ago.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even that long ago, though, that you started liking Vaporwave.
I'd say
about halfway through, where we are now. But so it's just something that I would have never really found out about had she not, told me about it. So yeah, it's something I've started liking because I associate it with that. It's something that Eve really likes, and by proxy, I've grown to like it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we also listen to it in the car, like, just about every single day because it's on my phone, and that's the
and
songs
her phone
that
only
play.
Has like 30. No, your phone
my phone has
like
like 100,
but it only plays like
over
100
songs, and it just is not good with shuffling. I just need to put new songs on there anyway. But yeah, so like we'll definitely, we'll play a couple of songs on here. Hopefully that if they're short enough that we won't get like, it's not that we get demonetized because we don't have any monetization in the first place. It's more that we don't want YouTube to mute that portion because it kind of messes up the video. But we want to like show off a couple of songs, and we're definitely going to put like some links and all that.
Yeah, we'll keep it like within fair use and everything.
I would say
we're not going to play the whole song. We'll just sample something.
Yeah, like
basically.
15 seconds or so. So you get the idea. 15 to 30 seconds.
And then we'll just link it to Bandcamp. And hey, if anyone likes it and wants to, buy the music, definitely support these artists. Because trust me, if you ever met them in person, they would be a lot cooler to you than a lot of other artists you might meet.
Yeah, and what's really cool about Bandcamp is they have, like merch stores through there. So, I mean, I just recently got an album by Hayes called Internet Explorer, and it's like a gorgeous turquoise vinyl. And that, that's something you wouldn't really be able to get from a normal artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
so it's pretty special.
Yeah, and also we should mention that the Hit Vibes vinyl is actually a really cool translucent red as well.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. Like, I love when limited edition vinyl like that gets released, because I think someone finally said, hey, there's a lot of, black vinyls out there. Why don't we just make a couple colorful ones? That's like my Dance Gavin Dance vinyl that has all the splatters on it and stuff. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so besides that, I mean, in general, I just wanted to retouch on this. Vaporwave, I'd have to say that was probably the most welcoming music scene I've, ever, experienced, really. And, I come mostly from the metal and hardcore scene and stuff, and, like, it's such, those scenes kind of have, like, a bit of a mixed bag of people. I mean, sometimes you'll get people that are really cool, but you'll also get some people that are kind of, like, almost snobbish in a way.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah. And it's funny because they're snobbish about very popular bands. And it's not just, they're popular like punk or metal bands. No, they're just popular in general because it's rock music.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, why are you getting so like uptight about it? It's like, we can all enjoy this. You don't have to be like, oh, well, I listen to this band. 30 days more than you did, so therefore I'm the bigger fan. It's like, whoa, chill.
Yeah, it's like they're pulling out their Last FM history to point out when they gave the band a Scrabble.
Yeah, Brandon, I don't even think most people are going to get that reference because Last FM is so wonky to use now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was going to say, I thought you were suggesting that people don't know what it is anymore.
I mean, it's a possibility.
I don't know, Last FM's nice.
I know, it's cool. Yeah. And also, it recommended a lot of other bands that I wouldn't have listened to unless I saw it come up saying, like, oh, you like this very unique subgenre. Here's 20 bands that are also like that. Because, that reminds me of when there was 2 separate...
you think your music's special? Here's 20 more.
Yeah, the 2 very specific North Jersey pirate rock bands.
Oh, yes, Swashbuckle and...
I can't remember what the other
Hold on.
band is.
I have my phone. Keep talking. I'll find it in a second.
But yeah, Last FM was really cool with that stuff. But yeah, I mean, also, Brandon and I have gotten a little bit more into, like, if you've ever seen our...
Hailstorm.
Yeah, not Hailstorm.
Not Hailstorm.
But Ailstorm.
Yeah,
yes.
They're both from North Jersey, and they're both pirate metal bands.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
very
pretty
cool,
crazy.
Very cool. But yeah, so if you've ever seen our game room, which I think we might have put a couple more pictures up about that.
Yeah, it's a lot cleaner now. Like, we're going to do some videos with it actually in
but
the
we
background.
have a whole bunch of musical instruments that, we've dabbled with, and Brandon's a little bit more musically inclined than I am. But for a long time, I've been working on like little
the bass a little bit.
Yeah, slap at the bass, man. Yeah, but I've been on my computer. I'll make stuff in like GarageBand every now and again. But we also had this program that we got off of Humble Bundle for like really cheap, and it's got all these really cool loops. So
let's talk about easy to jump into for a second, though.
Yeah.
It's by the way, it's Magic's Music Maker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Formerly, I believe, Sony Acid, I want to say it used to be.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Even,
I would not
I don't know, like,
say that's true or not.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Magic's Music Maker.
Yeah, so,
we'll pull it back.
So what's nice is it has a whole bunch of built-in loops, and you can kind of...
May I have some loops?
Okay, you keep interrupting me. Sorry. So you could...
Loops is a lie, by the way.
Yes.
That's the last time.
Yes. So you could jump right in and literally put together a full song on your own very easily, and it even has a tutorial where it shows you like, oh, pull from this one and mix it with that one, and you can put this in the background, all that stuff. So we have a couple of like MIDI controllers, and Brandon lost all the cables for it.
Okay, first of all, no, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
That's all I have to say about that.
But when we do find that stuff, we definitely want to get into making some more songs, and we saw a lot of like really cool visualizations, and going to that show like really inspired us. So we definitely want to, dabble a bit, get our feet wet in that scene, and actually produce some music. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, so the funny thing is, like, as soon as I turned the program on, I started messing with some stuff, and I created, like, I think it's like a minute and a half long. It might be a little bit longer, but I'll probably just put that up just to, say, hey, look, this is what took me an hour to make as soon as I opened up the program. But yeah, we're currently working on a little bit of a challenge with each other. We challenged each other to each make a song, and we want to see who gets more people to like their song. So basically, the idea came up when we were watching the trailer for It Part 2 with the, like It's theme, they call it. I don't know what the song's actually called. I'm sure it's not called that. It might be.
But it's got like that giggling.
Yeah, it's got like, the giggling, and it's got like the stinger progression and everything. Yeah. So we basically said, okay, let's take that part and incorporate it into an electronic song and see who could, produce the best thing. So we've been working on that for about the last week or so. Yeah, so we want to have that in time for Halloween, or maybe even for our Halloween party, which we have to have a week before because Halloween's in the middle of the week. So yeah, we hope to drop that towards the end of the month, and I think that'll be, well, it's September now, so the end of October, of course. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be an interesting challenge, and, free music for you guys. And let us know if it sucks, and let us know what we could fix, or what sounds good, I'm sure they'll let us know
bad.
If it sucks. People don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, no one's really mean to us or anything like that. What's funny is, like, like back in the day, you know, like literally like early 2000s.
Like people were so mean about like everything.
Yeah, like early 2000s, and then even like. So, when I first made a YouTube channel, back in, like, 2005 when it first started, I didn't understand how, like, AMVs worked. So I found someone else's, and then I just re-uploaded it. I was like, oh, well, this sounds cool. And then, for one, they told me that it sucked. And then I was like, but I didn't make this. And then they're like, well, you just stole it. Yeah. And I was like, I don't understand.
Well, I mean, your original YouTube stuff, which we will not mention right now.
Multiple copyright strikes.
Yeah, exactly.
In a summertime, sent to my Yahoo that I couldn't access. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
But yeah, no, so yeah, we're basically working on some music and stuff like that. The loops that are on the actual program itself, they're pretty good and everything, but we're also, like, we have so much music equipment, we're also going to be making some custom loops as well, so it's not good. I don't want it to be, like, too cookie cutter with a lot of things. Like, I like a lot of the loops that they have, like, the drum loops and the hip-hop stuff is really good, and it's good for a lot of things, but, yeah, so that's coming down the pipe, and we'll let you guys know about that. And yeah, since things have settled down, we could probably make some more content. Like, we want to do, like, definitely, like, I think a goal that we would like to set is making, like, holiday themed videos, because, well, I mean, those are just in general fun to make.
Yeah, and fun to watch. That's, like, some of our favorite content from, you know...
Yeah, exactly. Like, I started watching JonTron because of the Halloween specials with, like, Are You Afraid of the Dark and Clock Tower and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, okay, so, yeah, that's basically the music talks and everything, so I guess we'll move on to the Too Many Games game swap, if you want to open up that can of worms.
I wouldn't say that's worms.
No, it's
like
not,
that.
yeah.
It wasn't like that
Can
at
of
all.
gummy worms, see, that's a good thing.
I mean, I just wish that we were able to get there a little bit earlier in the day, because we had to rush to get over there, because we're always in a rush. Ugh, it's always something like that. But yeah, so that one was not at the Oaks Convention Center. It was actually at a college in, I think it was like Bluebell, PA, which I think is probably maybe only 15 to 30 minutes away from where the normal place is. But yeah, so, I mean, I was under the impression, and how they marketed it was that there would be people, like normal Joe Schmoes, like me and you.
I told you.
Bringing their games to trade. And I even asked on the Discord, and they said that it was going to be like that, or that they would at least have some tables to do that. And then when we got there, it was not really like that. It was more just like too many games, and there was some of the same vendors, but then a bunch of newer vendors that... They probably went there because the tables were discounted, but they brought a lot of stuff. So there were a couple of people that were actually willing to trade their games or systems or random stuff that they brought for things that we brought. So, like, I brought a couple of extra GameCube games and was able to trade a couple of them away for some really random various items, but I think it was pretty sweet. So, like, some of the stuff we got Alien Hominid for GameCube, which I have, but I don't know where the case is, so I was like, alright, screw it, I'll just get another copy because I can't find it and I want to put it on the shelf. We got some Drop Mix cards because we got the system at Goodwill, but it didn't come with cards, so, you know.
Eve, what's Drop Mix?
Brandon, Drop Mix is this DJ game console thing that you use these cards that have songs and music tracks built into it, and you can mix them up. It's literally like DJ Hero, but with cards.
Wow, that sounds really fun and not niche at all. I'm sure it has a huge audience.
It was pretty popular. They came out with, like, I don't even know how many different packs. There was at least, like, 7 different series, and in each series there's, like, 6 to 10 different packs. And in said packs, there's, like, 4 to 5 cards. So I think each pack... Math. Yeah, a lot of math, a lot of songs. I think each pack comes with, like, 2 full songs and then, like, 3, like, effects kind of cards.
So we could assume on the high end, like, 350 songs.
Oh, yeah. I actually was following, like, a spreadsheet because I was trying to figure out, well, I don't want country songs, so which packs do I need to avoid, basically?
Yeah.
But yeah, so We got that. We got a game for the N-Gage, our very first N-Gage game, and that's Tomb Raider.
I know. Now we're tipping our toes into the... We don't have any more toes left to tip in different water.
I mean, I feel like we've gotten a little bit of everything, and that's been my goal, besides, of course, the main GameCube collection. But yeah, so we got a couple of extra GameCube games, like random kids games that I needed, and then, like, X-Men 3, and let's see. And then the PS2 with the screen on it was pretty sweet.
Yes. We ended up buying a PS2 with a screen on it, but it's not just any screen. It's not the official Sony one, which normally I know people would be like, oh, well, why'd you get that? Well, the reason being is that it is the Intex screen. This is important to me. It might not be important to other people. But one of my possessions that I had the foresight to hold on to was something I bought at Toys R Us. And specifically, I bought it as an Easter gift for myself.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, if people aren't familiar with the concept of Easter gifts, well, I don't know if a lot of people did that. I think most people got candy.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Candy in a basket.
Yeah.
You freaking bourgeois getting video game stuff for Easter, dude. Huh.
Anyway, so what I was saying with that is the Intex screen that I had before is actually a PlayStation 2 controller. It's one of like the turbo and programmable controllers too, I might add, that has a little like, I don't know, like 3.5-inch screen probably. It's like...
No, it's like 2...
It's a tiny screen.
It's so tiny.
The resolution's great though, I will say.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy for a tiny screen for PS2 era.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I have that, and now I have the full-size version of it, so it's pretty cool. Like, I always wanted that when I was a kid. When I was very excited with the Intex screen, because I was like, I could finally play this in the car. I should let you guys know, though, to this day, I have never played with that screen in the car.
Well... you and I have played, we played the GameCube one in the car, which is sweet. That's also an Intex screen. Mm-hmm. Nothing like playing Smash Bros. In the middle of New York while we're driving home, because we have the GameCube power adapter that also fits the screen. So, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, so we could probably find something like that for PlayStation. And we'd probably be able to find it easier, because PlayStation has a more universal power cable thing.
So the funny thing with that is that I almost got the PlayStation 1 with the screen when I was a kid, but the reason I didn't is because the guy was like, oh, you need a power inverter like to play it in the car. And back in the day, the cheapest price you would pay for a power inverter was about $50. There was like one of them on, I'm sure there was more, but Kmart at the time, or Sears or Walmart or whatever, or even GameStop, they sold them. They were all like around $50.
Yeah, because back then it was premium. You know?
Exactly. So back then, like at the time, I was like, oh well, I'm not gonna get this then, which I probably should have just gotten it, but I had a little bit of a problem with the fact that the thing didn't come with that in the first place, because it's like, what am I gonna do with this, like, without the power adapter for the screen? It's like, am I gonna sit in my room when I have my 13-inch TV in there, when I could and sit there and play on this 4-inch screen? I don't think so.
Yeah
Yeah,
that's peasant times.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, so we definitely got a nice little mix of gaming goodies at the GameSwap. And we're definitely looking forward to when they do the Gifts for Gamers in December, which is a very similar thing. But once again, they have like different kind of vendors come out for that, and that's where we got the literally, basically at this point, one of its kind PlayStation promo clock, because there's no other listings of it online anywhere, and we found one of it one time, and it's on like a French website with no information. So I'm gonna just say it here and now, we have the only clock. It's an official PlayStation clock.
I mean, but like, that's not, I mean, if someone else has that clock and you want to like, send us a picture, we'll definitely post it, because it would be cool to know that like someone else found it too, and it's like, it's an official Sony thing too. It's not like just a custom thing, because the first thing I thought was, oh, someone bought a blank clock face and did that, but no, it's the promotional materials that I assume they would have sent to like a GameStop or like some other game store back in the day. Yeah,
because it is for PS1, because we saw the dates on it.
I think so, yes.
And then we also got the the Fully Cooley soundtrack CDs for super duper cheap.
Yeah, which is awesome because those are so hard to find.
Yeah, because
those
literally
are harder to find than the actual Pillows
I was going to say, literally
music.
the only other way to get the collection of songs that are included on the Fully Cooley soundtrack is to get the entire discography, which is what I basically did, getting them off of Yahoo Auctions for Brandon for Christmas time. But yeah. Yeah, so that was, that wasn't bad. We also were trying to win a Switch Lite that they had for a raffle prize, and we did not win.
Which
it would
is
have been
also
really cool
funny.
to win that, though.
So tonight was the, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but this is funny. So, something we were talking about was that, like, I haven't really seen many people buy a Switch Lite, but a ton of people are giving them away in contests. They were giving one away tonight at the Overwatch Grand Finals.
Oh, yeah.
You were up, like, getting us a drink and stuff like that, but
you would get a copy of Overwatch for Switch as well.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like, wow, like, did anyone buy this for themselves, or did everyone
I've seen one person post about it.
Yeah, because we have Alec in the games group that
he's gonna get one.
He's gonna get one for this contest. We have the GameSwap. We have the Overwatch Grand Finals, and I feel like just the sheer amount of things that we go to, we're gonna see that.
Oh, I've already seen sponsored ads for random companies saying, follow our page and you could win a Switch Lite.
Yeah, I know.
Not a regular Switch, just the Switch Lite.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I mean, hell, maybe.
I think.
Maybe we'll give it away or something.
Maybe. I think the reason why people want to give that away is because that's like a premium item, but it's not as expensive as a regular Switch.
Yeah.
And
you can't lose your Joy-Cons.
Yes, because they are fused to it. Yeah, but it's like when people would give away iPads or iPods back in the day. It's like, oh, well, it's not an iMac or a MacBook Pro, but it's like, it's still something good. It's still premium. It's just like a step down. But yeah, so as Brandon was saying, we just went to the Overwatch...
like the Sony Vaio of video game systems. Go ahead,
we just went to the Overwatch Grand Finals in basically our backyard, Philly. Unfortunately, the Fusion weren't playing, but we got to see the San Francisco Shock versus the Vancouver Titans. And I was personally hoping the Titans would win because they were the #1 seed and it's their first year in the league. So they had, I can't remember his screen name, or gamer tag, I guess. But he was the #1 rookie and he was the best Reaper player. And he definitely showed off why he was the best Reaper player. He got so many multi-kills. It was awesome. But yeah, so we did that and got a whole bunch of free merch, and as
the
per tradition,
booth didn't give away all their stuff.
Yeah.
So we were sitting like right under their they had I would say like an indoor beer garden type of thing, basically.
Beer garden.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I don't think enough people knew about it because we went up there and the guy that was throwing t-shirts out had this huge box and he was just handing stuff out.
Yeah, so I saw hoodies sticking out there. I was like, can I take this? He's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we ended up getting 3 free hoodies and 3 or 4 shirts.
Yeah, so, I was gonna say, as per tradition, we also have a whole bunch of those extra, boom whacker things, so we normally give those out for free at cons and stuff.
Yeah.
We still have some left over from last year's, grand finals. But yeah, so, it's always, cool seeing Overwatch, live, because it's, there's a lot of energy. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, why would you want to watch people play video games online or on TV or something when you could just play them yourself? Well, it's basically seeing the Olympic athletes perform these awesome feats. It's like, you and I can't do that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and also, in general, it's just entertaining because the lights are, a lot of the presentation is stepped up from a normal sporting event. So, for instance, it's, they have everything. It's basically gamer style, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if you have never been and you're able to go to one, I would definitely suggest checking it out. Especially with next year, they're going to have all the teams be actually local to the city that they're representing. So the Fusion are going to be playing in Philly and they're going to be practicing there. And I mean, I don't know where the Grand Finals are going to be next year, but, you know, definitely check it out if you can.
We're guessing either West Coast or somewhere in Asia.
Yeah. So, you know, definitely go check that stuff out. You could see the replays online. Zed was playing instead of DJ Khaled this year, which was
an
way better choice. I mean, you know, DJ Khaled could put on a show, I suppose, but maybe he could only put on a show because he's promoting some new album and doesn't care about Overwatch. Because he definitely didn't. Because he kept saying, yeah, I gotta get on a plane because I'm playing in DC in like 3 hours. And it's like, wow, way to care where you're at right now. It's like, ugh, that was just annoying.
Yeah,
but no, yeah, Zed was a good choice. And, you know, of course he played all the songs that you hear on the radio and other places. So, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, besides that, I mean, there were a couple things that, you know, there were a couple snafus that happened. The biggest one was that there was, like, a giant dead pixel on the screen that kind of looked like Masigno, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But they eventually fixed it because it took up a good part of the screen.
Yeah, you couldn't see part of the Shock's, like,
it was right in the middle.
Yeah. But yeah, so spoilers, the Shock won 4-0. It was a blowout, but Vancouver was close on 2 of the maps. It was literally neck and neck, like both teams had 99%, and it went to overtime on like 2 out of the 4, you know, matches.
It was pretty short, like, in general. Like, it was, like, it didn't drag on longer than it had to. So, you know, because those things get a little bit exhausting. Like, last year it was over 2 days, and we were just, like, dead by the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, the first day was really cool. And, you know, Fusion, it was 3-2 the first day. So it's not like the Fusion just let them, you know, run right over them.
Yeah, but besides that, it was streamlined. There wasn't as much, like, going on or anything, but that's okay. I mean, we went there for, you know, to see some Overwatch and stuff, but besides that, Eve and our friend Jackie, they were both interviewed by Channel 6.
Yeah, 6 ABC.
6 ABC?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So,
yeah, so our stuff...
6 ABC.
Our stuff should be on the Facebook page today.
I checked earlier, but I don't know
well, if it's not up yet, we could always, you know, take some screenshots and see if it's on there and be like, hey, this was us, we were there. It was pretty cool. Yeah, we wore some, like, simple cosplay stuff, and we saw a couple more, like, you know, actual real cosplay, but it's like, where we were sitting, it does not make sense to dress like that, because we were all the way up, literally in the nosebleeds, which is, what I said on my Instagram post. I mean, you know, if I wanted to do, like, full armor, or even, like, my normal Tracer Slipstream outfit, all that stuff is just, like, way too much extra to sit in a stadium seat. If we were down on the floor in the pit, yeah, that's fine and dandy, but...
Well, I feel like if people are doing that and paying the extra money for the pit tickets, it's because they're trying to get cosplay discovered.
I mean, I guess so. Also, sometimes those people are asked to do that stuff.
Yeah.
If they're more, like, known in the scene. Like, remember when they do the... Well, actually, I don't know if they do this anymore, but when they used to announce new characters, they would contact someone that is, you know, known for being, like, a seamstress or an armor maker or whatever, and have the cosplay ready, so that way when the character drops, that person in the cosplay is there and ready for, like, photos and stuff like that, and interaction. So then people will be like, whoa, how did this person put together this outfit? It was literally announced like 4 hours ago. And it's like, because they asked them and they showed them references and all that stuff. But yeah, so I'm thinking that might be some of the people that were there. And then you could tell that some of them also had the Spirit Halloween costumes.
Yeah, that is true. And then there was the Bud Light there as well, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, because Bud Light is the official beer of Overwatch, which is kind of funny because it's a rated T for teen game. But yeah, the Bud Light is very awesome. It was good seeing him in person, and I got to feel
hear about him on the radio and stuff. So
Yeah.
I've never seen what he looks like.
I got to
before.
feel the armor. It's literally just Ava foam.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then I asked him if he made it, and he didn't say any words, but he shook his head. Because I guess the knight's not allowed to talk.
Yeah, exactly. It breaks the illusion a little bit.
Knights are people. They could talk. It's just a guy in armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was really cool. It's always always fun going out to those, and everyone's there to just enjoy the show. And I got a lot of nice compliments on my wig and stuff because I'm not in full cosplay, so.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the wig is a good wig. I mean, our friend did a good job on it, so, yeah.
It's an Arta wig, so it
Yeah.
should be good.
Anyway,
right,
so fun event. Halloween talk now. So you guys probably hear that screaming right now. That's we purchased our first Halloween decoration for the year.
It's really loud.
Yes.
Hold on, it's almost done. Okay,
it's done. All right, so it's this little like skeletal goat that likes yelling, and it's sound activated too. So I'm just kind of waiting for when it starts going off at night, and me and Eve are just too scared to go downstairs to turn it off.
Yeah.
But, all right, so Halloween and everything. We talked about it a little bit before, but we have a couple plans to release a Halloween-themed video around that time, so we're going to be working on that probably for the next couple weeks, like probably spend the next week, like, writing for it.
Well, Brandon, when you're a cosplayer, Halloween is every day. Yeah, I know.
I could say something, but I won't.
I know, because I know you're thinking I'm cringy right now. It's one of those things, though, where, like, I don't even know what to wear on Halloween because I have so many options, but then I usually end up getting something new. But, I want to do, like, couples costumes with you, but you don't like getting dressed up.
I mean, it's just like costumes are kind of like, hard to wear.
Yeah, but on Halloween, it's expected you wear a costume anyway.
I mean, I could just get some rabbit ears and then, like,
Oh, are you gonna be a sexy bunny?
I mean, why not? Like,
All right.
other people do it.
Okay.
I don't know.
let's see
I'll
how
probably
this
do,
turns
like,
out.
Bloodborne or something
Yeah.
like that. Or, like, the steampunk thing that I need to eventually work on. But anyway, that's neither here nor there right this second. So,
all right.
Anyway, Halloween video. We'll probably spend, like, a week, like, writing it or something, and then we
gotta figure out what we want to do with that.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna figure out the style and stuff because we want to experiment a little bit and do some stuff that we've never done before. So yeah, we'll test out our metal with this one, and then we'll probably do like special videos for holidays and everything because as Eve said before, we love when holiday videos come out for the YouTube channels that we watch. So we are going to contribute to the ether with that one.
Yes, although ours are seen by a 0.0000001% of the YouTube watching demographics.
And we appreciate every one of them.
Oh, most certainly. Another thing that potentially could be something really cool that we could definitely do videos about because we would kind of be contractually obligated to, but we're trying to enter DirecTV's 13 Nights of Horror Halloween contest. So first you have to audition for it. And what you're auditioning for is the opportunity to win $1,300, DirecTV for life, and a collection of Stephen King movies, because that's what you're going to be watching starting from like October 13th, because they decide on the 12th, and then all the way up to Halloween. You have to watch the 12 movies. They're going to have a heart rate monitor on you, and you have to like talk about your experience and stuff like that. And it's funny because I've seen, I think, like every single one of those except for maybe like Sleepwalkers. But yeah, the list is online, so you could just like Google that. So yeah, we want to do our audition for that too, and we'll probably just put the audition video on YouTube so you can see what we're talking about. But I've mentioned this like plenty of times that I'm a pretty big horror fan, and some of Stephen King's movies are in my like top favorite horror movies, and I think that'd be a really, really cool opportunity if we could get that. Not just because of the money, and not just because of getting DirecTV for life, because we'd no longer have cable, and that would be very helpful. But it'd be really cool to, like, track the, scaredness and the heart rate, acceleration, all that kind of stuff. Because when me and Brandon watch horror movies, I like to watch when I know that there's a jump scare coming up, and then I know that Brandon doesn't know, and then he gets all spooked and freaked out.
Good with jump scares.
It's pretty funny. Because you would think, looking at him, he'd be like, oh yeah, he's so tough. No way would he get scared by that stuff. And then he's like, huh!
I mean, as we all know, all those tough guys that, are pretending they're too tough to get scared by a movie are just putting on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, like, if we win that costume or contest, that would definitely probably be our Halloween video. It'd be like, hey, we have to talk about all these movies because we were the ones that were chosen. But yeah, so there's, like, a lot of stipulations for that. So, we'll see where that goes. But we're gonna still try out for the, for the fun of it and all that. But yeah, so that's, I think, it for, like, Halloween stuff. Also, we're gonna, like, try and have a party and make a haunted house and play some cool music and all that good stuff.
And hand out candy, because it's the first time we've ever
Halloween.
Owned a place.
Yeah, because, it's, like, during the middle of the week, so... And also, we have normal jobs where we have to wake up very early in the morning the next day. So it's not like we can go out to some crazy party at midnight. So, we'll be home, and maybe we'll do some, like, weird thing where we could have, like, me or you sitting on the porch and make it look like we're, like, a mannequin or something like that. And then, like, as they reach for the candy, we could, like, scare them or something. Yeah. But yeah, that'd be really cool. I'm pretty excited for that. I don't know how many trick-or-treaters we'll get, but, hope we get some kids.
Yeah, definitely. I actually, we should probably check, like, the town ordinance and find out if, like, they have
They might do something
official trick-or-treating on the weekend.
Yeah, they could do it on the weekend. What's cool is, when some towns do that, if you live close enough, you could just go multiple days and get candy all the different days. It's fun. That was, like, my favorite part about that. It's like, Halloween's on a Sunday, and this town doesn't like when that's on Sunday because school's the next day. So then, like, they'll make it on Saturday. It's like 2 days straight of candy.
See, that's what I like about, towns in New Jersey for Halloween versus towns in, like, Delaware, for instance, because, like, places like Haddonfield, like, kind of, like, almost remind you of, like, Haddonfield from the Halloween movies, or even, like, Halloween Town, just, like, the fact that it's, like, kind of an older town and the way the streets are set up and everything.
I mean, Haddonfield, New Jersey is literally what Haddonfield, Illinois is based on.
Yeah, because didn't Haddonfield, like, they didn't want any... They
didn't want it in New Jersey because, they
didn't want it associated. Or are we thinking of Friday the 13th? Well, no. Also, possibly...
Well, no, Friday the 13th, Crystal Lake is in New Jersey. That's confirmed, because then, remember, they go from New Jersey to
New Jersey's a scary place.
Yeah, but what's funny is that didn't come out till later, because Halloween came out in 1979, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It had something to do with about the director and all that stuff. But yeah, so, and then, the movie doesn't even take place really in Illinois. It takes place in California, because you could see those palm trees in the background. And it's, like, filmed in the summertime.
Yeah, there's that.
Okay, but yeah, so enough ranting and raving about that stuff. But yeah, we love Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're going to have a fun time. We're going to produce some stuff. And we're going to eat some candy. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so going into the last segment before we say goodnight to y'all, we have upcoming events. So the first one, we have the Vineland Library Con, which is in Vineland, New Jersey.
Yes, if you couldn't tell.
Yes.
So we're actually vending at that one, and that is October 20th, and it's a Sunday, and I believe it's from 10 to 4 or 10 to 5. I think we'll probably
fairly short day.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, yeah, because, it's like a small little thing. It's a free con. We'll probably do another video when it gets closer, because we'll probably just talk about both of the cons that we're vending at for the rest of the year. Unless something else random pops up.
I'm really
in, like,
hoping
November.
Nothing else pops up, because in all honesty, like, we really don't need the extra money. I mean, getting rid of stuff is like the main
That's kind
concern.
of what it is. It's like, I get rid of, like, 50 games, and then I'll only end
And
up
then you'll
buying
buy
like
60
3.
more.
No, I'll only end up buying like 3. So I think that's pretty good, because it'll be, I get rid of junk that I don't need, and I get stuff for the GameCube collection.
Oh, speaking of the GameCube collection, the games you bought for Mike, too.
Yeah, I could talk about that after we're done this stuff.
Okay, right. So I'm adding
Yeah,
another
I actually
section.
no, I should have said that around the Too Many Games stuff, because we
Just talk
literally
about it
got
now.
that the day before.
It's on topic because we just talked about the
but,
collection.
So
Go
one of
ahead.
my coworkers, his sister was selling her, GameCube games, because she doesn't really need that stuff anymore. Because, she plays Switch, and that's kind of what everybody thinks. Like, whenever I talk to somebody about, like, their Wii games, they're like, oh, yeah, my kids, like, they had the latest system, so they don't need this stuff anymore. It's like, all right, well, that's good for me, because I like to get the old stuff. But yeah, so he brought that stuff over, and,
some good stuff.
yeah, so, probably only, like, 4 or so new titles. A lot of the stuff, it's like, I literally had those same exact games growing up. So that means we have good taste. But yeah, so then I was surprised though, because he also said, oh yeah, so like 2 of the games, they came like with this cardboard box, and I was like, wait a second. Do you mean like the big boxes? And is it for Mario Party? And he's like, oh yeah, and then the microphones are in there too, and it's in the plastic and everything. And that's, like, mind blown. I never thought I would have been able to get those in such pristine condition.
Yeah, that's like such a huge,
That's-
basically like a box checked off of the collection.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not like NCAA basketball, and it's not, Disney sports basketball and stuff like that. But it has a lot of meaning to me, because I literally had that stuff back in the day, but my mom made me throw out all that stuff, because it's like, oh well, you don't need this cardboard box. The game case holds the game. So, I was mad about that. But it's awesome having that back in the collection, and it goes along well with our Odama and Quiz game, the 2 Japanese mini big boxes, because their game cases are smaller to begin with, but they're in the boxes, so it's really nice.
Yeah, it's like in Dark Souls when you get killed and then you go and retrieve your souls, like after a very grueling area.
Yes, the souls have been replenished, Brandon. But yeah, so so I think we're up to what is it?
370 something, I think.
Yeah, hold on, let me check real quick. So many games to go through. Oh, and then another nice thing is, I've been doing a little bit of trading, like with Alakay Online and some other folks too. So I've been able to make a lot of the loose discs that we've just had around into complete games, so that's pretty nice too.
Yeah, so in general, the collection is in great shape right now, and we're...
Don't jinx it!
Yeah.
We're gonna have like a house fire. We're up to 377 individual games, but that is not counting the boxed variants and some of the games that have the Japanese titles that we have as well. But yeah, so it's pretty good. I would say like 380 then.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, really, I mean, we're getting close to the point that it's going to be, kind of the next chapter in the collection.
Yeah, when we get to 400, I think we'll probably do another contest. Something small, but we'll probably try and do more recent titles.
We'll give away a Switch Lite.
No. Maybe when we finish the collection, or at least finish the North American collection.
I'm sure it'll be a Switch 2 by that point.
Yeah, Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo. If it's so good, why isn't there a Switch 2? But yeah, so things are going pretty nicely with the collection, and we've definitely been coming across like a lot of unexpected titles in, at Goodwill, at pawn shops. It's nice seeing that. Although we have also been seeing people racking up the prices and saying, oh, that game shouldn't have been out on the shelf that costs $5. That should have been behind the case. It's like, that was a little annoying.
Yeah, that was really annoying because it was the Grudge Haunted House Simulator for Wii. And that, like, alright, I'm not that broken up over it because it's like, okay, whatever. I could literally just play a Wii emulator if I want to.
Yeah, but it was
But the whole thing is that, sorry, it's not our fault that you guys put it in the wrong section.
Yeah, and it literally says $5 on it, and you're like, oh, hold on now, this looks like it might be expensive. It's like, come on. If you wanted to sell it for more in the first place, you gotta be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, it's like, good luck selling it now that it's in the case.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like at the Too Many Games GameSwap, you always see the same couple of games from the same couple of vendors. No one's gonna spend 2 to 3 times as much as these GameCube games are worth.
Yeah, someone was trying to sell Disney Sports Basketball for how much?
It was $400. It's like, that's crazy. That's literally like 2.5 times as much as what it cost. And then what are you gonna say? Oh, because it's here? Because it's the only copy? Yeah, well, cool. Good for you. You're gonna hold on to it for another couple of years.
Are you gonna get someone that comes in like some sort of squire that just says, "Oh yes, we have traveled to the far, far away land of Bluebell, Pennsylvania to find your best copy of Disney Sports Basketball"? It's not gonna happen. And if it did, I would be really impressed.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Is that what these game vendors think? Oh, I'll just wait for the guy that wants to pay $1,000 on this game that costs $10, right?
Who's that guy on the horse?
Yeah. Yeah, who's the guy that's wearing a king's outfit?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh man,
I think we just came up with a character for our videos.
No, I was gonna say the Burger King with the creepy mask.
Yeah.
And we could get like the little mini pocket bike.
Yeah.
Because hey, that's a video game character. And we'll just go around to tables and be like, bring out your most expensive game. And then we just
What, do I look like a peasant?
Yeah, we just
$400 for Rule of Rose? I will not settle for anything less than $800. And then you just walk away.
Yeah, you just, the whole big production, and then you just walk away.
Clearly you don't know how much this is worth. I will be doing no dealings with you.
Until it's 4 times the price. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, some people are just a little much with their pricing. I honestly think that these people think that it's like some sort of golden meal ticket where they're like, oh, well, we'll just set it at this crazy price because no one will buy it. But if they do, then we don't have to sell games for the rest of the year or something like that.
That actually reminds me of this story, and I'll just give you the abridged version of it. So, if anyone's played Resident Evil, a mainstay in the series is the Samurai Edge handgun. That's I think it's basically like a Beretta. Yeah, it's basically a Beretta.
Oh, I thought it was like a Magnum.
No. The Samurai Edge is the handgun.
Oh, okay.
So if anyone's gun people, you know what that looks like, or, you know, if you've played, like,
the games.
Any shooter from the past, like, 20 years, probably. So, yeah, it's based off of a Beretta, but what someone actually did, it was at a convention somewhere in the South, because that is the only explanation of how this guy was allowed to sell a gun at a
video
anime
game
convention type of thing. So what he did, he took an actual Beretta and like custom made it to the exact specifications and like the decor and everything of the one in the game. And then he set the price at $10,000 because I think, you know, this dude was just planning on, like, he didn't want to sell it, I feel like. I feel like he put the work into it.
You know what, that's actually, to just go off on a little tangent, I think you're right about that. I think most people put these prices, because a lot of the times we've realized people would just start a store because it was their original collection. They're like, oh, I have 1,000 games. Okay, I'm going to make a store. Yeah, so then they have these games they don't really want to get rid of, but they're like, I could use the money though. So then they're like, okay, well, I'll set it for 2 to 3 times the price. No one's going to buy it, so I can still hold on to it.
And then eventually, just like, there's that serendipitous moment, but... So yeah, going back to that, like, someone came up, he saw it, and he's like, well, I'm gonna buy that. So they went through the right channels. I think he had to, like... I think he basically accepted the money, then they were gonna do a transfer through a gun shop.
Yeah,
because you can't just sell someone a gun like that. So, yeah, they did that, and the dude sold something for 10 grand, and he ended up just shutting his booth down for the rest of the weekend and enjoying the thing. But,
yeah,
I mean, that is, like, pretty crazy. I mean, like, do I think 10 grand is overpriced, even though it's custom? Oh, totally.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing.
I mean, you could even have custom-made weapons from, like, you know, like a blacksmith or a gunsmith or something like that, and they'll make it for you way less than that.
Yeah, exactly, but, like, more than anything, I mean, it just so happened that that's how it worked out. But,
yeah, and it's literally like, okay,
I mean, if people have the money to spend, I mean, it's like, it's right there, it's right there in front of you.
Sure.
So the whole thing with that is, like, are you going to try to wait and get this custom made, or are you just going to buy it?
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, so, like I said before... Ooh, I got hiccups now. This is not going to be good.
Here, drink some water.
Yeah, so like I said before, we'll probably do a separate video because we'll probably actually do, like, a real video, not a podcast, but for our upcoming cons that we're actually vending at. But some other cons that we're going to be attending / planning to attend is Geek Fest, which is the 26th of October, which is the same day we want to have our party, so we'll probably do that in the morning time, and then have the party later at night. And then the following weekend is J1 Con at the Showboat. I think it's at the Showboat in Atlantic City. Well, it's at one of the hotels in Atlantic City. But yeah, so
our friends from Arc Studios might actually be. We talked about them in the last podcast. We met them at Anime Next. They're a bunch of cool people, and we've been keeping in contact.
Yeah, and since then we've had a couple of Discord talks and stuff.
Yeah, so they if they do end up going, we've decided to open up our house to them. So because a lot of them are coming from kind of far away.
Yeah, like North Jersey.
So yeah, we're gonna let them stay here so that they don't have to pay for a hotel or anything. So we might actually be able to make like a video with them, maybe another podcast or something. So we'll have some guests on.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so I was gonna say
we'll link them in the description. We have in the last podcast, but we'll do it again.
Yeah,
they're cool people. They make cool videos. So yeah.
But yeah, so like J1, they're doing like this crazy promotion for a cosplay contest. The grand prize is a trip to Jamaica. So I have an idea for a costume that I would like to make. I don't know if it's going to happen because we also, want to do the music stuff and have our party. And, that does take planning and preparation, especially because, if we have people stay over, we got to make sure everything's nice for them and all that stuff. But yeah, so it'd be really sweet to win that. And that would also just be like, oh yeah, the reason why we're in Jamaica is because I won a costume contest. It's like people just wouldn't even expect that, I would assume.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty cool that they're doing something like that. I think in the past they've given away like pretty big, monetary prizes.
The guys that run that thing, they know how to run a con because it's like, I mean, most cons,
they had to deal with embezzlement, so...
Yeah, I know. I mean, most cons are like, oh, you win bragging rights. It's like, come on. These people, put together these costumes and stuff, and it's like, you can't go to McDonald's and say, I want a costume contest, give me a Big Mac.
Yeah.
However, you can say, I won a costume contest, the prize was $100,
and I'm
give
using
me
that
a
money.
Big Mac.
I am using the money to purchase some food from your eatery. Yeah, exactly. We've been to a couple of places that are like, congrats, you came in first place. And that's it. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. That's it.
Congratulations.
Insert the Evangelion gif here, Brandon.
Yep.
For future notice.
Future Brandon, make it happen.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, once again, we got a little bit of a longer podcast here. But we wanted to catch you guys up on the stuff that we've been doing. I don't know if Brandon's going to have one of his... he's doing, gang signs at me or something.
Ocean City, Maryland. I was cut. Look,
I said I was going to talk... We should just talk about that separately, because that's all the way in December.
Yeah, that is true. We don't know what's going on with that.
Well, that one's just one day, I think, but that one's all day Saturday. So we'll get more into that later because, I would rather have a little bit more information about that beforehand. Because once again, it's another new place we're vending at. But when we vended at Farpoint for the free... It was free comic book day, right? For that one?
Yeah, it was.
Maybe. No,
Farpoint.
Farpoint does a free toy show. It's literally called It's a Free Toy Show. Yeah, so when we vended at that, we were next to another guy who we started talking about vending and local stuff and things that are maybe farther away, like New York, Maryland, Delaware, yada yada yada. But yeah, so we were saying that we saw the ads for Ocean City, Maryland Con, and he said that it was a good one, and
Yeah, and this guy's like a career vendor. Like, he was moving some, like... So his business model is pretty cool because mostly what he sells is just, like, he has bins of action figures and stuff. And they're all, like, organized by, like, series or comic or, you know, what have you. But, yeah, like, people were buying from him all day. Like, that dude was wheeling and dealing the entire time. Like, he must have made, like... a couple grand, I would say. Like, he did really good.
Yeah. I mean, we were doing okay on that day, too. We had a little bit of competition, though, because there was that other table that had games all the way on the opposite side. I think we'll just talk about Ocean City, Maryland Comic-Con and the Violin Comic-Con separately in another video. But, yeah, like, so we're vending at those, and then we'll put more information out there. Because then, you know, we could talk about what other stuff is expected to be there. But, yeah, so we wanted to catch everybody up on all of our activities. And what I was going to say is I don't know if Brandon's going to have another Magic video ready for Monday Night Magic because the previous week was a holiday, so we were kind of busy with that stuff since he had off from school. But yeah, like when it comes to like making videos from Arena, unfortunately now we've noticed that since Wizard is giving paid sponsorships to other YouTubers that are ginormous, and you've probably seen the ads for them, we kind of, you know, it's like, what more can we say than that's already been said?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, we're not going to be playing Magic in a pool or anything like that, but... Yeah. And we don't really have the resources to do what MatPat does, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do some more Arena stuff and everything, but, I mean, more than anything, like, I'm kind of running low on wild cards at this point.
Yeah, I know, that's part of the problem. It's like, you can't... It's... I wish Arena would implement a mode that's literally just called, like, free-for-all.
Casual or something.
Yeah, where you literally just can make whatever is in Standard, and it's just to play for fun. So, right now, they have that going on, and it's literally called Play Any Deck Standard. So, you could use any combination of cards and make a deck because it's in preparation for Win Every Card in Standard, which is next weekend. But I wish that they would just have that all the time, because it's literally like, do I want to invest my wild cards in this specific deck? And then when I see that it doesn't perform as well as I expected it to, then I'm not going to be mad about it, because I didn't spend all of my wild cards on it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so really when it comes down to that type of stuff, it's kind of like, I mean, like, I would like to, but at the same time, you know... I don't want to, because, you know, like, there's a lot of cards in Standard right now, and there's a lot of decks that you could make, but it doesn't help the fact that a new set just came out.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a lot of stuff that's being played. Like, this new set, like, it didn't seem as powerful, but I'm starting to see that a lot of the cards in it are pretty much what I would call broken.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of low-cost creatures that... they're just, like, super overpowered. They have so many extra abilities than they needed to have. Magic definitely suffers from power creep, and there's plenty of videos on that, too. But, yeah, like, I mean, we had tons of fun when we played the pre-release, I would say.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was fun to build with it and play stuff.
Yeah, because, I mean, both you and I, if we had a little bit more time and we weren't always, like, kind of doing something, I think we used to play Standard all the time back in the day, but this was the first time in a while that we actually stayed to play a pre-release, because normally we just grab the boxes and go and make our decks at home and then just play each other, because we don't really feel like sitting around waiting for the pairings, waiting for people to put their decks together, all that stuff. But yeah, like, we had a lot of fun, and I got some pretty sweet cards, and it was, you know, fun attacking with, you know, trample, double strike, and, you know, using an equipment by flashing it in, and people didn't expect it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like, I feel like at some point we'll probably make a more comprehensive Magic video, but for now, I mean, I'll get some more Magic videos done. I'm not going to guarantee when they're getting done, but I will do some more. It's just more the fact that there's a lot of times, like, I want to talk about it, and I almost kind of want to, like, teach new players how to do stuff, but sometimes when I'm just trying to win to get somewhere with things, or I'm trying to kind of grind something out, I am more focused, and I can't talk as much.
Yeah, that's one of those things.
It's boring when you don't talk in those videos.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I want to stream Magic, but I also need to be reading the cards that other people have. So Magic is one of those games where you can't really, like, talk to, like, people that are in your chat or in your stream or whatever, and also dictate everything that you're doing at the same time.
Yeah, like, you really have to be good at multitasking.
Yeah, like, I mean, I could do that, but it's also, like, now I need to focus on trying to win. I don't want to just sit there and, like, let the timer run out and then, have my turn skipped and all that stuff. We'll try and figure that stuff out, because I really do like playing Arena. I'm having a lot of fun with it, a lot more fun than I expected to have with it, and I'm super excited that they announced that the Mac version is coming out, I think, in October. At least the announcement for that information is coming out in October. And then if this comes out on the phone, like, all bets are off. I'm going to be playing that way more. Yeah. So,
I think that's everything at this point, because it's getting late.
Yeah, it's getting late, and we're old now, so we need to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty.
Alright, so anyway, guys, look forward to more content and everything. This is Brandon and Eve from Dolphin Quest, reminding you to stay cool.
And don't flip out.
See ya.
Bye.